Hello, boys and girls. I know I'm late to the party, but who cares? A Phantom Liberty is everything you want from a DLC, and judging by the Steam achievement stats, more people have to talk about it. So let us begin. Even on very hard, 2077 is not hard at a certain point. Phantom Liberty changes that. It basically comes to just having more strong enemies, but it works for some reason, unlike some other games. In the base game, I was struggling with the difficulty being not that fun anymore and enemies not being a threat. You can say, well, just don't use good gear or do a non-chrome run. And yes, that would be a solution. However, in an ideal world, I would not have to sacrifice the fun of using cool gear for the sake of having fun fighting hard enemies. I also did limit myself to only using one-handed weapons and explosives, and for each death I had to destroy everything I used, so, kind of a challenge. Phantom Liberty creates this ideal world that I was talking about. I am using just the orange thumb, I'm chromed the fuck up, and still get my ass kicked from time to time. So it doesn't cancel all my progress in the base game, and I'm still stronger than an average Joe, but there is way more guys around my level, so just jumping in the middle of a big group of enemies with your dick out has more severe consequences. Also, you'll have a chance to go full naked on a swarm of skulls if you take enough drugs with this, Spanish dude. It's like a flashback section where you relive a memory of a local antagonist, and for some reason you are, really weak. So let's talk about the content. Here you don't have NCPD requests, since there is no NCPD, and basically the whole district is one huge crime scene. But there are 3 so-called high criminal activity locations or something like that, where you have a big number of enemies and even a final boss. They aren't challenging or anything, but the base game kinda lacked them in my opinion, so it's a nice touch. You also have these, I guess I can call them airdrop events. Basically some contraband falls from the sky and local factions fight for it or guard it. They're limitless and not linked to any quests, so feel free to ignore them, but you can always find a fight to pick. Speaking of limitless, and there is this whole new El Captain quest line. You unlock it through these carjacking requests. Steal a car, drive it from point A to point B while fighting off enemies, or timer, or both, and get reward. The quest line is nice, you get to know El Captain a little better. I think he was kind of a... well, all the fixers are kind of a... not really the characters. And you do a good thing by screwing the corpse and get more cars. Don't know about you, but I flatly refuse to fast travel in this game. I'd rather drive or walk because I'm simply in love with the map. One can say that the map is breathtaking. Sorry. Dogtown map is on that same level, and it's its own unique style. They didn't fuck up Pacifica enough and decided to go all in on this one. You have this brutalism post-Soviet vibe with all these big concrete structures and the slums on top of them, which kinda reminds me of the Kowloon Walled City. I'm sure some of you watched the videos about it. If not, I suggest to at least get acquainted with it on a surface level. Where there's not much space around, so they kinda build on top of each other, making it like a multi-level district at places. Also reminds of Dark Souls 1 map. And a lot of effort was put into making this map. Every little corner, every turn, every step feels like it was actually built, used for years, and you can see and feel that. It's a real place. What else? Mr. Hands gigs. Oh, and you have more Compeki Plaza type missions with cutscenes. Well, not really cutscenes, but you get what I'm saying. More scripted, narrative-driven missions rather than just gameplay-based ones. Not sure if it's good for replayability, but again, felt like the base game could use a little more of those. The story is alright, can't say that I'm the biggest fan of Cyberpunk's story. What I do love is a personal connection with the characters. Judy, Carrie, even River, their relationships with we...
Those are some balls on that one. Never mind the testicles.
So what good will my balls do us today?
Their relationships with V are really open and vulnerable. And know what I personally think about these characters, the connection is there. But what about Panam? Yeah, but she's not as lonely as the others, so despite being that one true waifu, she seems the least fragile. Her missions are the best though. When it comes to Phantom Liberty, I don't know. Reed, well, he's just Takemura too.
It's good to meet again. You look like shit.
The government dog. Never trusted him or cared to become his friend. It was kinda clear to me that siding with him is siding with USA, and that's the same as siding with Arasaka, and that's a big no-no. Somi, she has this whole victim thing going on, everyone is a traitor and a murderer, but it's okay when I do that. Yeah, their stories are tragic and they wanted better lives, but cry me a fucking river. You don't really learn from your mistakes, don't you? Reed keeps being an obedient dog and Songbird is a selfish cat, and both get the same results as before. I like Hansen way more, he's honest at least.
I should send you back to Night City in body bags.
Which ending is the best? Spoilers ahead, so be careful. We have 4+1, I guess. Let's establish that both sides are shit. However, it should be obvious for V and Johnny that Reed's side is a dead end. With Somi, you can at least pretend that there is gonna be a happy ending. Imagine that there is a tiny chance of something good. Obviously, you find out that she's a lying, manipulative bitch as anyone else, and out of pure bitterness, you can't give her away because fuck her, and you have every reason to do that. But let's think a little more. If you give her to Reed, she's done, and you get nothing. We know that that's not true, but for V it's a gamble. As everything else, I guess. So you become a double traitor yourself, and the bad guys win. If you send her to the moon, she's still probably gonna die, and you still get nothing, but you don't fall to her level and flip off the NUSA. Are any of these endings good? No. But here is Cyberpunk for you. At least with the last one, you don't become a bitch and add NUSA to your list of enemies, becoming even more of a legend. And that's who V is, a fucking legend.
So, feeling better?
No.
Although Reed's ending is way more interesting. Songbird's ending ends up being a giant fucking shootout, which is fun and difficult, but not that deep. Reed's is all over the place, from fighting Max Tech, which is not that fun, to some sort of Max Payne memory crawl, to Alien Isolation, fuck that part, to Silent Hill, that was kinda cool. The connection between Reed and Somi is much more intense, and it even makes sense for V to give in these feelings and feel like shit, despite knowing that both of them aren't really worth the trouble. You know them too well at that point, going back to personal connection. And don't let any potential conversation fool you. Reed is not your friend. Carrie, Johnny, Panem, River, even Judy are your friends. They're somewhat self-sufficient individuals who come to their own conclusions and make their own choices. Reed cannot be your friend because he's not a person. He's just a part of a machine. Can disagree with the orders somewhere deep inside, but will still follow through. Might love you deeply, but be the one who shots you in the back of the head if the superiors command. Yes, he's this older guy who can potentially be some sort of a role model for V, So you want him to be cool, but he's really not, unfortunately. Literally the same can be said about Takemura. Now, let's talk about new game ending. It's bad, it's sad, I don't like it. Somehow feels even worse than this one. You're now a fucking double, triple, quadruple traitor. You've let down Songmi first, then Johnny, which is fucking heartbreaking, yourself, Phantom and the clan. Like, fuck that!
So, again, just to be clear, you've called me at High Moon to ask me to help you break into Arasaka Tower, or you'll die.
About the gist of it, yeah.
Okay,
What? Okay.
where are you?
The only thing worse is siding with Arasaka. So, as you can see, the game still delivers. No matter what you choose to do, get ready to take the hit right in the feels. As David, the guy who wrote the music, said,
play the game, listen to the song, and I hope you're gonna fucking cry.
and fucking cry you will. Now, give me a minute to talk about the whole game. I personally kinda got lucky because I didn't really care about the game beforehand and started to play like a year after the whole launch fail, and the game was already finished and I immediately fell in love. Put like 100 hours on PS4 and 2 years later almost 200 hours here for the sake of DLC. And I don't regret a single minute. Definitely one of the greatest games of all time. And it comes from a person who doesn't like the cyberpunk aesthetics. I don't like Akira, I don't like Ghost in the Shell, I don't like Blade Runner or whatever. Not my thing. So starting this game was like all this neon stuff, like, again, don't like that. But it only proves that the quality, the content is there, that like a hater enjoys it that much. The gameplay is just fun. You have bunch of styles you can utilize and change throughout the playthrough. So the game never grows stale. The character arcs are simply amazing. All the relationships are as real as they get. Huge thanks to the actors, definitely a strong side to the game. One of, if not the best maps in gaming. Feels like it's not just game designers who worked on the city landscape, but like actual professionals who design cities, not sure how they're called. The level design is absolutely great. I sometimes enjoy just exploring the quest side after completing it just to see how differently I could have completed it, and oh boy, there are options. So these are just some thoughts I have after playing Cyberpunk for the second time and Phantom Liberty for the first. It's a shame that after a failed start, some people still don't treat this game seriously or refuse to try it. Yes, it was a disaster, not sure what happened, but most likely Project Red had to release the game and legally couldn't hold it any longer. And huge props to them that they didn't just drop the game and through all the frankly deserved hate, finished, polished, and made this game into what it's supposed and deserves to be, turning the overwhelming hate to the overwhelming love. One of the most amazing adventures, no doubt about that. That's it, gamers. Thank you for watching. You know, like, subscribe, you know, make number go high, make brain go happy. Also, you can watch this little bug compilation, that's pretty fun. The next big video is gonna be about Space Marine 2, most likely. In the meantime, might make some Supervive highlights. Now that's really it. Bye.